It's no secret that black males have fallen victim to a number of racially charged stigmas and misrepresentations in the media. But what about when it comes to fatherhood? This documentary will explore two pressing questions. Has the representation of black fatherhood improved throughout the years? And are those representations, whether good or bad, reflective of black reality? We'll first start by taking a look at television representations of black fatherhood post The Cosby Show and into the modern age. According to research done by the Opportunity Agenda, negative associations of black males are highly exaggerated, portraying characters who are criminals, impoverished, or unemployed. While these negative portrayals are exaggerated, the Opportunity Agenda argues that positive associations are limited. Relating this argument to black fatherhood, I attempted to test their ideas with a bit of my own research.
Could you, for me, name a representation of a black father, and it can be in TV or it can be in other media, that you are proud of?
I think of the father from the movie The Watsons Go to Birmingham.
It would be like the show Blackish. It
Okay.
was Cosby's. I mean,
I definitely say I'm proud of Uncle Phil.
He was, though they may have been poor and had their own struggles, like he was really involved and he tried his best to teach his children like life lessons.
They have simple problems and they deal with the issues that are actually going on in the world. So I can relate more to Blackish than.
There was that one episode where Will's dad walked down on him again, and it was such like a powerful scene, and it's like if your own father won't love you and show you the care you deserve, you'll have someone else who will give you that same support.
And so it seemed that positive representations of black fathers were rather prominent in Hollywood. The image of the loving, well-educated, and sometimes goofy black dad could be recognized time and time again. But what about negative representations in Hollywood? When asked, the interviewees all seem to have come to a consensus.
No, like I've seen Empire and it's very entertaining, and that's what it is. It's just entertainment.
Okay. But I know for Empire, they make the dad seem like they make him seem kind of crazy, but like everything he does for his family, and he's like doing for his legacy.
Right.
Okay. Fox's hit TV show Empire follows the life of music mogul Lucius Lyon. He's achieved fame and fortune through the selling of drugs and even murder. He's been described as ruthless and cold with an intense need to further build his fortune. Curtis Bunn of Atlanta Black Star states, and I quote, "The show does nothing to advance the perception of blacks or alter how blacks are viewed by non-blacks across the world." End quote. He continues on stating, and I quote, "All pervasive visuals of African Americans as drug dealers or former drug peddlers have been overdone, reinforcing a false narrative." End quote. But there are other negative representations that are worthy of noting. For instance, the deadbeat dad, the cheater, and lastly, the abuser. Although these representations are less popular than the successful, loving black dad, they're still present in Hollywood. These harmful representations could potentially impact how viewers see themselves and the world around them. This is most commonly known as the social learning theory. Consumers may subconsciously fall victim to the stereotypes in the media because, in some way, they feel that they must conform to them. So has the representation of black fatherhood really improved throughout the years? While conducting my research, I found over 50 positive representations of black fathers in Hollywood post The Cosby Show, and many have been included in this documentary. For the sake of time, I couldn't include all of them. But what I didn't find, however, was this extensive representation of the deadbeat father or the cheater or the abuser or all of the things that we would associate with being negative representations. So although there were some instances where that was the case, they were far outnumbered by the positive representations that we are all familiar with today. So yes, the representation of black fatherhood has improved in television throughout the years post The Cosby Show. But are these positive representations reflective of Black reality?
Could you tell me a little bit about your family growing up and what role, if any, your father played in your upbringing?
My dad was in the military for the first 8 years of my life, so I saw him periodically.
Okay.
As I've stated before, I didn't grow up with my dad. My parents got divorced when I was like 1 or 2, maybe 3.
Really, really hands-on. He is the one who disciplines the most. He's the one who lectures the most, and he just really tries to teach us lessons from, his life experiences.
Okay. So I don't really know how it feels to. I've never seen a successful family, like a stable family. I've never seen that, so I feel like it's probably going to affect me in the future because I wouldn't know how it's supposed to be.
She's not alone. According to News1.com, 72% of Black children are raised in single-parent homes, where most of the time that single parent is the mother. This doesn't mean, however, that Black fathers don't play some role in their children's lives, even if they aren't in the home.
Because I guess he didn't really understand how to parent me. Okay. Since my mom really did most of the work anyway, in the beginning. So he annoyed me because he made me read books I didn't want to read. Couldn't go outside in the summertime.
In fact, recent data published by the Pew Research Center shows that although Black fathers are more likely to live in separate households, 67% of those same fathers who don't live with their kids see them at least once a month. This is in comparison to 59% of white dads and 32% of Hispanic dads.
So, in general, do you find that the deadbeat dad stereotype holds weight?
They like to fuel that story. So the story of my dad wasn't there, my mom raised me, I grew up stronger, and I grew up wanting to be better than my dad or better than that man. So I think it's definitely a stereotype, and I don't really think it's true, but I do think people just like that story, that Rags to Riches story.
Not in, of course, any experiences that I have had, but if I see maybe friends who have had babies, I feel like it's true. The fathers will just make these babies and then they just disappear and leave it all to the mom to do. And I feel like it's really unfair.
So now, I guess only one question remains. Are these representations, good and bad, reflective of true Black reality? My research has come up inconclusive. The representations of Black fatherhood that we see every day in the media and in television can be representative of some parts of Black culture and Black reality. However, to generalize the media and to say that it's reflective of every individual would be inaccurate and would be false to those who fall outside of the lines of whichever stigma is being presented at the moment. If anything, I found that through my research, the notion of the deadbeat black dad is somewhat of a myth and not as common as we may think. The truth about Black fathers is that they are more supportive and that they are more available than many individuals would like to think. In conclusion, I found that the reality of Black fatherhood is really subjective, and it really depends on whose story is being told, and it also depends on who's projecting the images that we see every day in the media and the images that we see every day on our TV screens.